What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. Hello, somebody. All right, so you guys, we got Beyonce got a lot of half-siblings, bro. So her dad was out here slinging the wood. She got more siblings than she know what to do with, bro. Let's get it, man.
Baby, the Carters and the Knowles have been able to hide a lot of things in the industry. But one thing they can't run away from is their incredibly strong genes. I mean, just look at this photo and tell me it doesn't look like a younger version of Beyonce. Well, that's because this is her half-sister. And the older she gets, the more she continues to look like Beyonce and Solange. But this is not the only half-sibling Beyonce and Solange have. Y'all know that Mathew Knowles has always been wild, right? And we are going to be talking about just how far he went and why Beyonce and Solange seemingly don't want anything to do with their half-siblings. Okay, Beyonce's first half-sibling is Koi, who her father had with Takoya Branscombe. And can I start by noting how she has grown into such a beautiful young lady? Like,
oh, that's her mom? Her mom look young as hell. That's her mom.
First half-sibling is Koi, who her father had with Takoya Branscombe. And
she look like she could be a little younger than Mr. Knowles. Let me find out Mr. Knowles is the candy liquor, bro.
Can I start by noting how she has grown into such a beautiful young lady? Like, she is G for gorgeous. And when I tell you that she has Beyonce's eyes, girl, just look at these eyes and tell me they are not giving Beyonce. Anyway, her mom, Takoya, has actually spoken a bit about how she met Mathew. And she said that she met him when she was a dancer. And at the time, Mathew treated her like the love of his life during their affair. But that changed when he learned that she was pregnant with Koi, after which he left her. He didn't just leave her, by the way. Mathew even had the audacity to
Mr. Mathew was a whole sugar daddy out here.
to deny that the child was his until a DNA test proved otherwise.
When you told Mathew Knowles that you were pregnant with his child, how did he react?
Very much. Well, you can't get pregnant by me. You know, it can't be my child. You can't deny it once DNA test comes out 99.9%. That you are the father.
All single ladies, all single ladies.
Wow.
So something interesting about Koi is that her mom was allegedly very good friends with Solange. Based on reports, Takoya met Solange through a stylist in 2008, and they apparently went out to clubs and bars together in Texas on numerous occasions. And Mathew knew that Takoya was friends with his daughter, while Solange reportedly had no idea that the two were having an affair. Well, Takoya did admit to her role in the situation she put Tina, Solange, and Beyonce in, and expressed regret about the affair, telling Inside Edition, "Yes, I slept with a married man, and it was the wrong thing to do. But I have a beautiful daughter that came out of the situation." She did also say that Beyonce refused to have anything to do with her half-sister. But she also said that even with the legal battle with Mathew, she was also hopeful her daughter may one day meet Beyonce. She said, hey, they are half-sisters, so maybe one day down the line that will be possible. Well, it's been years since she did the interview, and it seems Beyonce still doesn't want anything to do with Koi, and neither does Solange, because neither of them has ever reached out to her. Well, other than Koi, Bey and Solange also have a half-brother named Nixon. Mathew fathered the love child with Alexandra Wright, but he was also refusing to pay child support until Alexandra took him to court. At some point, it was actually so bad that Alexandra and her son Nixon had to live in a homeless shelter because she literally couldn't afford anything. Well, as much as Beyonce and Solange also don't want anything to do with Nixon, Alexandra also made it very clear that she does not blame Beyonce for anything that went down between her and her cheating father.
I'm in the middle of the fight for my son's rights. I got over 1,000 death threats last week alone.
What?
Because this article said that I blame Beyonce, which again, let me say for the record, it's not her fault. I've never blamed her. I want the best for her. Everyone's
In fact, Alexandra also admitted her role in hurting Tina, Beyonce, and Solange. And she even wrote an open letter saying, "It is with a heavy heart that we must head back to Superior Court to continue the fight for the rights of my son, Nixon Knowles, who has proven to be Mathew Knowles' biological son. My family and I have exhausted every non-legal avenue to urge Mathew to be a responsible father and to follow the stipulated judgment we reached together, which was approved by California's Superior Court." Alexandra Alexandra also talked about how in the beginning, she had a working relationship with Mathew that encompassed mutual respect and professional admiration. She said that when she met him, she already had a very successful and financially viable professional career, and he positioned himself as a mentor to her and someone that she could turn to for business advice. But as time passed, their relationship turned into a very close, personal one, but she never meant to hurt anyone. Then she apologized to Tina, Beyonce, and Solange for what she had put them through, adding, "I regret the pain that I have contributed to his family and to my own family. I have the utmost respect and admiration for both of his daughters. They are both lovely women. I also regret the pain that this situation has caused his ex-wife, Tina, and very much wish one day I will get the opportunity to tell her personally." So there's allegedly also an older brother that we don't know much about, and only God knows how many more others. And if I'm being honest, maybe Beyonce and Solange don't want anything to do with their half-siblings because there are probably too many to get acquainted with. Also, we've had some people say that they don't understand why anyone would think that Beyonce and Solange are under any obligation to acknowledge or develop any sort of relationship with their half-siblings. I mean, adultery is not just a betrayal to the mother, it's also a betrayal to the kids. And what adulterers don't think about is all the trauma this creates for everyone around them. Imagine Beyonce and Solange watching their dad repeatedly embarrass their mother publicly and have the nerve to create multiple permanent reminders of the betrayal. I mean, it must be pretty heavy on them. On the other hand, we've had people saying that the half-siblings are not at fault, and they at least deserve a relationship with their siblings. Remember, not so long ago, Alexandra also noted that Beyonce bought a house just 10 miles from their trailer, and that her main concern has been dealing with Nixon, who asks, "Why doesn't that person love me?" She also added that she just doesn't know how to help Nixon to be his own person, but she believes their children and grandchildren will be much better human beings, and they will find a way to open up and have that conversation. Apparently, something else that bothers Alexandra is that people always ask Nixon straight up at school if he's Beyonce's brother, and the grown-ups are always taking pictures of him. She said that Nixon has never had the luxury of being a normal child, and it's even harder for him because Bey wants absolutely nothing to do with him. So we have people saying that Bey and Solange are intentionally icing their half-siblings out. Some people have also noted that Beyonce won't even let Jay-Z acknowledge his other children. Like, there have been reports claiming that she specifically tells Jay-Z not to acknowledge his other children. For instance, we know that Ramir Satterthwaite's mother, Wanda, hooked up with Jay-Z in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn, New York, after Jay first picked her up in Philadelphia. And the story is that they used protection, but it failed. And other than a visit from him 2 weeks later, they never saw each other again. And Wanda had no idea how to contact Jay-Z. Ramir claimed he was first told by his mother that she believed Jay-Z was his—
How she didn't know how to contact Jay-Z whenever it was clear that y'all had sex or intercourse at his auntie house in Brooklyn. So if you couldn't contact him, you could at least contact the auntie. I know the auntie probably will at least know where her nephew at sometimes. If not every day, but at least sometimes. Auntie got to know where the nephew is at, bro. If he take you to his auntie house and bust you down in the auntie house, apparently him and his auntie should be close. A lot of aunties don't do that.
His father when he was around 8 years old. And he has actually been trying to get Jay-Z to admit that he's the father for like a decade.
That she met Jay-Z and had intercourse with him. How old was she?
I would say I think she was about 16, 17, or 16, just turning 16 or 17. I know it was one of them.
And Jay-Z was what age?
I wouldn't happen to know. I think he was in his 20s?
I read 22.
Oh, yeah.
I think I read 22, but he was in his 20s.
Yes, I wouldn't happen to know his age, but 22, I'm pretty sure if they put that out there, then that's what his age was.
Right. Yeah. So I just want to point out to our audience that Jay-Z having sex with a minor would make that child because she was underage at the time. And then furthermore, the fact that he took her from one state to another state, I imagine would be in a violation of
Well, with this case, in the last couple of months, we've also learned that Jay-Z's lawyers lied in court when they claimed they misspoke and that Jay-Z has refuted the claims in court despite allegedly trying to settle them outside of court a long time ago. Ramir also said that someone tried to unalive him and was firing at him after he filed a civil suit against Jay-Z, and that intimidation tactics have been used against them for years. His godmother, Dr. Lily, also specifically said that she believes that Beyonce played a key role in dissuading Jay-Z from acknowledging Ramir and settling the case. And she also said that Beyonce and Jay-Z may have cruelly mocked Ramir in their music.
Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Ramir needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back door.
Now, other than Ramir, we also have Letitia Macer, who claimed that she was Jay-Z's daughter on an expose on Instagram where she was like, "I've been quiet for far too long. Join me as I tell you my story of living in the shadows of being Jay-Z's daughter in a city where everyone knew he was my father. But I kept it all together, raising 4 kids, including a set of twins, while going to school full-time, working 2 jobs at the prison and the hospital."
Has multiple sclerosis. I've been hearing that Jay-Z was my father all my life. There's no way that he can deny anything, especially when people were there that know him. And he was there. He just looked at me and he was like, Dad. They even was in my living room. He was talking to my mom. I was gonna leave it alone. They brought me one of those ancestry tests. Finally, I get some type of answers. He knows that I exist.
Apparently, Letitia was born in 1990 after her mother, Lisa, had been introduced to Jay-Z through Lisa's sister, and the two immediately began a romantic relationship. The sister even wrote about the encounter on Facebook saying, "I know the story from start to finish. I hooked your mother and father up years ago. Jay asked me who she was when I lived on 500 Side Greenwood Ave. We chilled in that apartment so many times. We laughed, drank, smoked, played cards, and some more stuff. Lisa and I have talked about this for years." In addition, one of Jay's old friends, Oshino, actually confirmed the allegations and said in 2022 that Jay-Z purchased a house for Letitia in Cambridge, Maryland, and that he paid her bills, but allegedly doesn't allow her to put pictures of him around her house as part of their deal.
People like the daughter he got. I'm not hiring my daughter for nobody. The whole reason to get money is for your kids.
Well, the same old friend also said that Jay-Z has cut ties with Letitia and has abandoned her and her mother, who is currently in a wheelchair. And you know what? Word on the street is that Beyonce is the one who told him to cut those ties. Child, there were also allegations that Jay fathered a child with model Chanel Scott. To be the child's father, said that a DNA test had shown that his son Malik Saeed was not his son and that Jay-Z is the father. Also, given all the infidelity we know about Jay-Z, I wouldn't be surprised if there were other children we don't know about. So again, people have always just been like, if we are talking about someone who will not allow her husband to acknowledge his biological children, do you think this is someone who would want anything to do with her half-siblings? I don't know, guys. I don't know. But you let me know what you think of this messed up family tree and the...
Man, that's crazy. First of all, now with other Beyonce and Solange step siblings, I can see a little bit where she's coming from with that, because that is a big embarrassment to her mom and as well as to them as well. Their dad was out here doing the do. Dang, bro. So on that part I can see, maybe she's still hurt from what the dad did to mom and having the kids on the mom. So that gonna take a long time, probably never. But now, with her trying to keep Jay-Z from his kids, I don't think a woman can keep a man from their kids, bro. She probably has something to say about it, of course, but at the same token, it's still all up to Jay-Z. He got his own cars, own flights, airplanes, jets, own transportation. It's a phone call away. Hey, I want to see my son. I want to see my daughter. Now, with the age gap on the little boy, that could be a charge for him, though. So he might be trying to stay clear from that. I can't blame him from that. Now, You said, I'm gonna keep that shit over there. They might try to bring something up. This is the worst time to bring it up with the Diddy stuff going on, bro. But the daughter and the mom, Jay-Z, supposedly daughter, bro, if that's your daughter, her auntie said she hooked you up with her sister. Y'all played cards and smoked and did all these things together. And your homeboy said he knows something about it. But at least the daughter's grown. The daughter said, hey, I don't want nothing from him, but he know what time it is. That's crazy.